I got this backpack off the shelves of Mountain Equipment Co-op in Victoria, BC. But I wonder, how did it get to that shelf? Let's ask the backpack. So backpack, where were you made?
I was made in Vietnam.
Vietnam? That's madness. What do you think we're doing? Living in a global economy? Oh, right. In this global economy, it's normal for companies to have a global supply chain. That is, their products are often not manufactured, shipped to, or sold in the same area, let alone the same country. Some products are made in several countries and then shipped to a retail outlet halfway across the globe. So this MEC backpack of mine was made in Vietnam, which means it was shipped across the Pacific Ocean to end up in the MEC store that I purchased it from. That means that this backpack is part of the 22% of all MEC products that are made in Vietnam. But I wonder, what happened before the boat? Where does it all come from? First, let's define what we mean by all. The label on the backpack says the contents of this pack are polyethylene vinyl acetate foam, polyurethane foam, and polyethylene foam. The MEC website also shows that the product contains 420 denier nylon, 630 denier nylon, and an aluminum stay. But what about the Velcro? The elastic shock cord? The elastic fabric? The mesh? And the plastic knobs? The first issue is clearly a discrepancy in the materials that this backpack is actually made of. Which source is right? I don't know. I'm assuming the label is right, but it's still missing a lot of things. Let's move on for now and try and find out where in Vietnam this particular pack was manufactured. MEC has a section on their website titled Upfront and Ethical. On this part of the site, they list all of the factories that make products for MEC. 7 of those factories are located in Vietnam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Some digging and some searching, some use of ImportGenius.com, Panjiva.com, GreatImportExport.com helped me narrow it down to 3 factories. One of 3 factories were probably the birthplace of this particular backpack. Ponggok Saigon 2 Corporation, they are a bag manufacturer. Thai Viet Camping Products Industries Co. Limited, they manufacture backpacks as well as tarps. Sambu Vina Sports Co. They make bags, sports bags and travel bags. I also contacted MEC directly, locally, and I contacted MEC headquarters in Vietnam, but I didn't receive a response, unfortunately. I also realized that the MEC headquarters that I contacted in Vietnam wasn't actually Mountain Equipment Co-op. It was some media planning firm. Ha ha ha. Whoops. Guess I confused them. So what's the verdict? The verdict is I still don't know where this backpack was made. However, the FLA has reports on Mountain Equipment Co-op factories, and the last one from the FLA is from a Vietnamese factory. Unfortunately, this is from 2009, and the factory that the FLA investigated, it didn't say what the factory manufactured. All it said was that there were several non-compliance issues in the report. Regarding the auditing system that the FLA uses, they focus only on labor practices. They don't focus on environmental issues at all, which is kind of bad because 1/3 of factories that MEC uses just pay fines instead of worrying about proper waste management. MEC says they're committed to being green, to being sustainable, but because of the lack of environmental auditing, they don't touch on issues such as MEC does not know how or if these factories recycle their polyethylene vinyl acetate foam. It is very easily recyclable. There's no discussion about the production of flexible polyurethane foam, which uses toluene diisocyanate, very toxic. And there's no mention of the polyethylene foam production, which is made mostly from petroleum or natural gas. It's 11,802 kilometers between the point of production and the point of purchase for this particular backpack. Vietnam to Victoria. In that distance, a lot of issues around globalization come up. There are ethical issues. Outsourcing to developing nations means indirectly supporting substandard working conditions. However, substandard is subjective. It may seem substandard to us, but it might be fine over in those particular nations because they are developing. The good side of outsourcing is providing millions of jobs to people who may otherwise be starving on the street or dead. A lot of people are concerned about the environmental issues, specifically the cargo ships. They use a lot of fuel. In fact, a big cargo ship can use as much fuel as 50 million cars in 1 year. And there's the social issues. The global economy and the global supply chain means we have a global village. It means that we're able to connect to people in a way that we've never been able to do that. Whether good or bad, that's not the issue. We have that connection. We have the global village. This is also great opportunity for catastrophic communication issues. One little communication error in production or in supply or in shipment can mean huge errors and huge losses for many, many companies, not just one. However, it means great opportunity for collaboration among cultures and communities. You shouldn't have to jump through hoops, weave your way through a material maze to find out what your backpack is made of, where it was made, and if it was made using environmentally friendly procedures. And this brings up the issue of conflicting policies between different nations. Does an American company have any right to tell a company in Taiwan that they outsource from that they have to do things a certain way or behave a certain way? Globalization means the opportunity for groundbreaking global policies that go beyond national boundaries and borders. So, what are the hidden costs? I don't think there are hidden costs. I think it's all laid out on the table. We know about the 60 or more hours that 400,000 Foxconn employees work every week in Shenzhen, China. We know about Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. It's an industrial area that produces 50% of Vietnam's waste. What does it all mean? It means globalization is more than just a global village. Globalization is more than just a company digging its fingers in all around the world. It means now, more than ever, we need to strive for global consciousness in production, transportation, and especially consumption. Mountain Equipment Co-op says it practices ethical sourcing, and that this backpack is ethically made. However, MEC is a business, and business ethics are very different from my ethics.